So I wanted to talk about the real benefits of undertaking the grant. And in all honesty, it wasn't just the obvious tangible results, such as the IP protection and proof of concept. It also gave me the experience and subsequent confidence to firstly prepare a detailed action plan, which is what I was forced to do by carrying out that feasibility study, to execute that plan and to manage company finances. Now, these 3 points are fundamental to any successful business. So the fact that I'd got the experience of running a business by doing these 3 things in the grant were completely vital to where we are today. And I cannot stress those points enough, especially when you're a graduate and you've just, you may have had a part-time job, you may have worked a bit and you've been in academia. The differences are quite large between running a business and studying a degree. So the R&D grant proved to be a massive stepping stone for us and is integral to where we are today. So we are selling to councils and businesses and households throughout the UK. Subsequently raised 50k for 5% equity, and that was through Swain, who are outside, I believe. Lucky enough to, in the Shell Livewire Entrepreneur of the Year Awards, out of 450 applicants, we made the final 10. We won it for the South West, and that was before we even sold the product, and that's off this technology. And I wouldn't have won that if I couldn't have proved the technology from the feasibility study that I did for the grant. I was lucky enough to go on the National Council Graduate Entrepreneurship in Kaufman Global Scholarship, which was sent 15 graduates, and it was paid for by Burr, 15 British graduates to the States to learn about entrepreneurship, how to build a team, how to raise investment, and how to hopefully commercialise technology. Got a fantastic team now that's been built over time. We've extended our product offering, so not only have we got the half-metre high units, we've got a metre high unit, we've got a corner unit to allow you to connect to walls, and all the development for these other units carried on the same process that I did for that initial R&D grant. So I've used that again for my other products to ensure that we get a suitable product. We've been on our first international business trip. That's in Wollongong in New South Wales. That was part funded by UKTI, and I went over there to speak to 3 potential manufacturers to get this product manufactured under license, because we've got patents running there. We're still in negotiation with them. This is the State Emergency Services chap, and they're the guys from New South Wales who look after flooding. They've signalled their intention to buy a freight load to trial over there. So that's our first step into international markets, and we want to do this more. Sales to date, we've sold to Scottish Borders, Hampshire County Council, Worthing Borough Council, Kingston and West Norfolk, the EA, and we've been to visit a lot of councils up and down the country, who've signalled their intent, but the frustration with budget cycles and swine flu has affected our sales because they're the same departments that deal with flooding, but we're moving forward. So the value proposition that I offer these councils, this product, is it's an end to the majority of their sandbagging. It saves their budgets, because they don't have to keep putting out the payment for sandbags every time there's a flood event, which is an ongoing cost. These units are repeatable. It's truly rapid, it's repeatable, it's multifunctional. So, for instance, to Scottish Borders, they've got this at a place called Eyemouth Quay, but they've got the units in red, white, and when they're not in use, they use it as a traffic delineator barrier. So you've got a 2 function. When there's a flood, they just repurpose it. It's lightweight, and it's proven technology. And I can say that because I carried out that grant, the R&D grant. Application: sea and tidal flooding, road and path flooding, households and businesses, flash flooding redirection, road traffic delineator barrier, fluid containment. You can create swimming pools out of this. We've got a corner unit for storm water collection, for irrigation, and all these sort of things. It's a very robust product. Suitable terrain, hard standing such as roads and pavements, grass or soil depending on undulations. This is some testing that the Environment Agency did before they procured 180 metres southern. So this is down at Sandwich Quay in Kent, and that's Paul Marshall of the Ops Delivery team down there. They've got 180 metres there. They've had the product for a year now. They can assemble 180 metres in 90 minutes, which sandbags they wouldn't even do it. Which is, compared to any other product out there, you cannot do it that quickly. They've now deployed this system 3 times in the last year. And they've got it all stored in they've got 180 metres stored in a freight container just off Sandwich Quay. There's the traffic linear aspect of the product. The product's manufactured in the UK in Birmingham at a leading UK rotational moulders. It's 100% recyclable end of life. It's manufactured in accordance to ISO 9001 accreditation. And just a final bit, it's just a comparison between this technology and what councils are currently doing, which is using sandbags. So if you build a 30-metre flood wall out of sandbags, half a metre height, and then do the same out of FLOODSTOP, for the sandbag wall, you'd need 2,100 filled sandbags for one person. That's 70 man-hours. You compare that to FLOODSTOP, which is 30 FLOODSTOP units, and somebody could easily do it in 15 minutes, but I put one out there. So you can see how the staggering difference is and why this is set to hopefully make a lot of traction in all the councils. And if you start looking at the cost logistics of that, considering that the sandbags then have to go into landfill, if you have a flood event where you have to put out 30 metres of either sandbags or this barrier, it would cost you about 8 grand to do that for sandbags, and for a one-off payment, 4.5 grand for FLOODSTOP. So already the council saved themselves 4 grand from their budget. You can have a second flood event, 6 months down the line, FLOODSTOP's reusable sandbags aren't, they've saved themselves 12 grand, and you could go on, and I do. I'll take that slide out. When I give presentations at councils, I go on, and they normally but we've been very lucky with all the floods that's happened. We've been in Telegraph, in Planet the FT, ITV did a covered of the EA, putting out the 180 metres. The future. These are the Paulfords family, they're up South Worcester, and they bought 8 metres for their driveway. After the 2007 floods, their house was absolutely demolished. They've already deployed this once against a flood, and it saved them. So we're already protecting vulnerable people. We've got to overcome the lethargy of councils and budgets, because it's something that I was quite naive about before I started selling to councils. We need to fully enter the private market, which we haven't done yet. And we need to start securing international deals. So we've still got a long way to go, but we're getting there. So last week we won the Emergency Planning Society Award for Most Innovative Products. And the Emergency Planning Society is the body for all the emergency planners in every council, where they share best practices and they talk about first responders to flood events. So this is a massive stamp of approval for us in the UK, and it shows that this is voted for by the guys who put out the sandbag. So to get this is great. They just need to start buying more of it. So that's the problem. So that's it. Thank you. And any questions?